Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, but I'm rocking with y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on Atlanta rapper Trouble being shot and killed by a woman's ex-boyfriend.
At approximately 3:20 this morning, Rockdale County deputies responded to a shooting. Upon deputies' arrival, they observed the black male, lying on the ground suffering from a gunshot wound.
June 5th, 2022, Rockdale County sheriffs in Georgia responded to a homicide investigation at the Lake Street James apartment complex. Dispatch informed homicide investigators that the front door of an apartment had been forced open and a male was shot in the chest, later dying from his wound. Upon arrival to the scene, the detective spoke with a woman only identified in the warrant as Miss Williams. She stated she was asleep in bed with the victim, identified as 34-year-old Mariel Orr, who's more commonly known as Atlanta rapper Trouble. She stated she woke up to her ex-boyfriend, 33-year-old Jamichael Jones, punching her in the face. Trouble began fighting him when she joined in on the fight, and at that time, Jamichael produced a handgun, firing a single shot into Trouble's chest before leaving the scene. Miss Williams further explained she and Jamichael had broken up approximately a week ago after an argument inside of her vehicle. She complained to him not having a job and not helping her pay bills when he punched her in the nose. She called 911, and at that time, Jamichael exited her vehicle and fled the scene. Miss Williams then left the area before filing a police report, as he had already fled. She went on to say she hadn't seen her ex-boyfriend since that violent interaction, and he hadn't been back home since. The two had been dating for 3 years and lived together in that apartment. The news of Trouble's death quickly made its way to social media, leaving many in disbelief and without details. The following day, detectives obtained nearby surveillance footage of a vehicle driven by the suspect, Jamichael, entering the Lake Street James apartments at 3:14 a.m. and leaving the scene only 7 minutes later. The Rockdale County Sheriff's Office issued a be on the lookout for the 6'3" man now wanted for felony murder, aggravated assault, home invasion, and battery. Investigators began surveilling areas frequented by Jamichael, including his mother's home. While speaking with his mother, her phone rang, and it was none other than Jamichael. Investigators were able to coerce the suspect with the help of his mother into turning himself in, even going as far as allowing him to pick the time and place to surrender. At 1 a.m. Tuesday morning, Jamichael Jones was placed under arrest at a hospital in Clayton County. According to officials, the suspect and the victim did not know each other, and the only link between the two was the woman. Named in the warrant as Miss Williams, she has since been identified as 33-year-old Marissa Williams, who's more commonly known throughout Atlanta as the rapper RZA Royce. As clear-cut of a home invasion murder this may seem, RZA's statements have some believing what she said may be used to the alleged killer's defense. She told investigators the two had both been living in the apartment, had only broken up a week ago, and he hadn't been back since. Jamichael could easily argue against her word, saying he had no previous knowledge of them being broken up, and at that point, it's his word against hers as to if he'd been back to her apartment, unless either of them could provide proof through surveillance video or cell phone GPS locations. That, and if any of his actual property or clothes remained in the home. See, the only defense he'd be able to justify murdering Trouble is claiming he was in what he believed was his home when Trouble attacked him, causing him to fire in self-defense. This would fall under Georgia's castle doctrine, in which citizens are allowed to defend their homes and themselves with use of force, including deadly. RZA waking up to punches could be disputed by Jamichael's lawyer, and any injury RZA suffered could be written off as taking place when she joined in on the fight between the suspect and the victim. The only thing working against Jamichael is the forced entry and fleeing the area. But if Jamichael's lawyer is able to present the case as Jamichael was locked out of his own home, forcing his way in when he was attacked by an unknown man and fired a shot into the man's chest, this could possibly flip the case. Not only that, but Rissa's credibility could be questioned, as she claimed she was abused previously, but decided not to follow through with filing a police report. At this time, it isn't known which direction this case will go, and it's unlikely everything will go Jamichael's way. Social media would reveal Jamichael is a failed rapper by the name of J. Mike, who could be seen in a courtroom where a judge denied his bond, setting his next court date for June 15th. At this time, he faces a possible life sentence in Georgia State Prison. Many have since taken to social media mourning the loss of Trouble, including Boosie, who responded to the news in a series of tweets expressing how close of a friendship they shared and how Atlanta will never be the same for him again. A candlelight vigil is being held June 9th in Atlanta, where those close to Trouble will continue to show love and support as he shines in peace. Now this is a sad one, and it's a reality check for a lot of people, because in all actuality, from everything that I understand about this case, Trouble did nothing wrong and nothing deserving of what happened to him. Whether it's your first time meeting a woman or whether you've known her for a little while, you go over her house, you've previously gone there before, this is the first time, you can never expect something like this to happen. 3:14 a.m., they're both apparently asleep in bed. This guy forces himself in, a fight pops off, a gunshot, and Trouble's on the floor. And I mean, people can say, oh, we should have had a gun on him. Even if that was the case, that doesn't always mean you're gonna survive. And at the same time, it's always easier to be the critic. It's always easier to say he could have did this, he could have did that. A lot of people don't understand, in the moments where you least expect something to happen, that's when something happens. And someone will say, oh, that's why I always stay ready. You can say that if you want to, but there isn't one profession where violence occurs that people don't get hurt, no matter how much they prepare for it. It could be a cop, a firefighter, a fucking Navy SEAL. You know, we got special forces in the military who do nothing but train for these Call of Duty type missions, and even them, they die. Sometimes things are unavoidable, and that's the reality check. That's how scary things can be, because you can't predict when something will happen. You can't predict how you'll react to it. You can't predict the outcome. And with something like this, for somebody's life to be taken over a woman, and not only over a woman, but over a tender dick male who was probably upset, whatever it was, whether he knew Trouble was there or not. You know, some people are trying to throw out the rumor that he was set up. That doesn't necessarily make sense to me. I could look at a couple of aspects, like he wasn't armed, so maybe the girl gave the drop. But at the same time, all she would have had to do was walk out, unlock the door. Buddy could have came in, did what he did. She could have said, oh, we were drunk, we left the door unlocked, I don't know. Instead, dude breaks the door down however he forced himself in, which I'm sure left a shitload of DNA all over the fucking thing. He's already seen on surveillance. If he previously lived there, then he knows there's cameras, right? And he's coming in his vehicle, pulling in. He knows the drill. It sounds too sloppy for it to be a planned hit. But at the same time, desperate people do desperate things, but they didn't even know each other. So why the fuck would it be that? But like I said, Trouble will continue to shine in peace, and those that love and support him, they're gonna show up and show out in these next couple of weeks as his candlelight takes place, his funeral takes place, and whatever else comes from it. And you know, one of the things that might be saving the suspect in this case is the fact that he wasn't arrested in Atlanta, Fulton County, but arrested in a neighboring county, or a county that's like 25 miles a fucking way. Because at the end of the day, when you're somebody like Trouble, you got a lot of friends. And when you do something to somebody like him, you're gonna piss a lot of people off. But, you know, that's just what comes with the territory. And if something like that happens, I'm sure I'll be making another video. It's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. Until next time.